In today's series, Keys to Success, we're going to talk about surviving our failures. How do we get over feeling like a loser when we fail? How do we get over that stigma that society may bring upon us when we fail of being, you're a big loser? Welcome to the Rodney Podcast. So you may or may not know that I am a real estate broker. And I remember back when I was getting my license for the first time, just a regular salesperson license, not a broker's license, that it was pretty fast, pretty easy. I really studied for it and I took practice exams and I kind of knew all the questions. So going into the test, I was relaxed. And it was funny because I started reading the questions and it was almost like I could finish them. Like I didn't need to read them all. And so pretty soon, I realized that I was going to be the first one done because I was flying through the test, no problem. And so sure enough, I was the first one done. Didn't even need maybe a half an hour at the most. And I think they gave you a few hours to do the test. And I got my license. And then fast forward down the road, I decided to get my broker's license. And I remember hearing stories about how difficult it was. And me being arrogant, just thinking that I knew it all, I went for my broker's license. And sure enough, it was a test that I did not pass the first time. And you were supposed to get a 75%. And so if you pass, you just get a pass. If you fail, they kind of break it down for you and tell you your percentage. I got a 74. So I went ahead and studied again and applied to take the test again. And the second time I took it, I did not pass. A 74% again. So me being perseverant, I decided to go ahead and take the test again, and I needed to go ahead and get my broker's license. It's one of my goals that I wanted to do. And so I took my test again, and sure enough, the third time, a 74%. Now, at this time, I'm getting a little frustrated. I'm wondering what's going on. I'm kind of maybe doubting myself. Maybe I wasn't smart enough. And I remember my father telling me how he felt maybe the state is just playing a game, trying to weed out people, see who would persevere, collect more money, whatever it may be. I didn't know how to explain it. 74% 3 different times. So I also heard stories of people saying they took it 4 times. So I figured maybe 4 times must be the magical number. So I went back and I took the test for a 4th time. Now, again, getting a broker's license required me to take 6 to 8 courses besides my regular license courses. And you had to have experience. You had to work for at least 2 out of the past 5 years full time for a real estate broker. So I remember just being frustrated and saying I need to get this done because the 5-year window was closing. And I mean like fast, almost to the day that I was going to get my license, because sure enough, on that 4th time, I passed. I'd like to know the percentage, though, because they don't tell you the percentage for passing. They just say you passed. But I went ahead and persevered. And so today we are going to talk about what happens when you fail and how to embrace it. Welcome to the Rodney Podcast.
What's up, guys? This is Travis Yance with TravisYanceFitness.com, creator of the Alpha Fitness Program. And you're listening to the Rodney Podcast, the Alpha of podcasts.
Okay, today's podcast is being recorded in February of 2019. And this month in February, I decided that I was going to do a podcast for every day of the month as I do this series called Keys to Success. And so today's key to success is embracing failure. What do we do when we don't make it? What do we do when we fail, right? Well, my broker's license was just one of the many failures that occurred in my life. I mean, there was many times that I failed, but my broker's license was one of them, and it was frustrating. And if you've listened to me or watched some of my YouTube stuff, you kind of know that one thing about me is I loved every job that I had, but every job that I had lost. And so I lose listings. I don't get the contract all the time. There are things in the gym where I work out and try to shoot for personal records and I fail. It's part of life. But it's about what do you do when you fail? And so the issue that we face today is that so many people talk about success and motivation, even me. I mean, I talk about positivity and success and motivation 24/7. But that has an effect that sometimes when we don't succeed, we don't know what to do. Like social media and those kind of things show our best, right? I mean, even me, when I post pictures, what do? I edit them. They make sure they look the best that they can look. But how many times have people taken down pics because of poor performance? They say it's not enough likes. They complain about a couple likes. I remember used to getting 800 and they only get 400, so they take it down. I mean, we can even get past low engagement and likes on Instagram. So how do we deal with our failures that we may have that are on a bigger scale? Well, I believe it's all about outlook and perspective. When I lost a listing on my street, I had found out that somebody down the street was going to move, and I tried to communicate and contact and get some appointments set up. And pretty soon I know there was a sign smack dab in the yard and it was not mine. But you know what I said? I said, wow, that agent is really good. That's a really good agent. I can't wait until he realizes that he should be working for me. You see, I could have been upset. I could have been down and out about missing out on that commission and that listing. But instead, I focused on a different goal and a different mindset. You see, we get so down on ourselves, but the truth is that everyone fails. Everyone gets a trophy, or you can be a sports star, or you can be the star of the team, or you can go ahead and make professional, even though all you do is eat junk food and play video games. This is what we're telling our kids. Kind of ruins us. Ruins the kids as they get older. Because then they fail and they said, but my parents told me I'm the star. My parents told me I can win no matter what. And I know there may be different views on that, about encouragement. And I think there is a place for encouragement, but there's a place, I think, to kind of be realistic. But let me say this. Other people can bring us down. People fear that when they fail, that people will look at them as losers. Like when you don't succeed, somebody will look at you and say like, oh my gosh, what a loser. But the truth of the matter is that they're probably the biggest losers out there, probably bigger than you. You see, we all fail at something. There's something that we're not good at. All people don't succeed 100% of the time. We're all losers at something. Michael Jordan, he says he missed tons of game winners, but it didn't keep him from shooting and didn't keep him from going on and persevering and trying and trying and trying. You see, and that's the key. See, we can truly learn to be stronger and better if we fail. Therefore, we need to embrace our failures and learn from them. So the strongest tree, right? The strongest tree isn't the tree that's in the best soil. It's the one that grows in the wind. Because when we face adversity and challenges, and when we withstand those adversity and challenges, we succeed and we can build on them for the long term. Because we find out that we grow stronger and stronger. When something comes up at us, we say, bring it on. See, I've been here before. Nothing can knock me down, but if it does, I'm getting right back up and pressing forward. So, here are some steps that you can take to help you embrace your failures. First, what you want to do is you want to analyze your failures. What happened? Why did it happen? How could you have prevented it from happening? Or what could you have done differently so that you didn't fail? And then from there, you can plan your next steps. What are you going to do now? What are you going to do differently? How are you going to fix this? How are you going to move on? Because that's a third step. Move on from it and grow, because you'll be able to move on and succeed. So with that, I want to tell you that feel free to dialogue with me. My YouTube video, Rodney O Weekly, shows that I am living what I speak. Please be sure to subscribe to that channel. You can go ahead and just search Rodney O Weekly, or you can go ahead and have the link in this iPod description here. And remember that I want to inspire, encourage, and motivate all of you as you navigate this journey that we call life. Thank you for joining me for the Rodney O Podcast. See you guys in the next one.